Namaste. In India, they use the word namaste to greet each other, and it literally translates to, I bow to the divine in you. So with that, namaste. Oh. Namaste. My second beginning as a magician started when I was a pre-med freshman at Gonzaga University in Spokane, Washington. I would take the city bus once a week to the Children's Hospital, and I performed magic for cancer patients and their families. And I would return to my dorm room after those hospital visits, and I would often sob. I would sob at the weight of the burdens these children had to cope with on a daily basis. And during my years performing at the hospital, I would often have mothers and fathers pull me aside, and they would say, thank you. Thank you for being here. This is the first time that I've seen my son or my daughter laugh and smile in months. For me, magic is not about fooling people, but rather it's about demonstrating the limitless potential we all possess. Harry Houdini once said, in certain circumstances, magic not only entertains and amuses, but it has the power to awaken hope that the impossible is possible. And I believe that with magic, it's a tangible metaphor for hope because we can literally extend the realm of possibility right in front of our eyes. For example, if you take something like air that is so essential to our livelihood, and if we look at it, it appears so normal at first. But if we look a little bit closer, we can learn to find the extraordinary within the ordinary. Let's journey to Colombia in July 2012. I stepped off the plane in Bogota, the land of the world's most resilient people. And I was there on a Fulbright Scholarship. And before my arrival, I worked hand in hand with Magicians Without Borders, and we dreamed up a program of teaching magic to at-risk youth in the slums outside of Bogota. And I worked hand in hand with the founder of the organization, Tom Werner. A few weeks after stepping off that plane, I took my first bus ride to Ciudad Bolivar, notoriously known as the most dangerous slum outside of Bogota. And that first day on the bus, with 2-hour bus ride, multiple transfers, I had no idea where I was going. All I had was a scribbled note with the name of the stop written on it. And as the bus started careening around the hillsides, I looked out the windows at the cinder block houses. And as I was looking out the windows, everybody on the bus was looking at me. I was the only geeky white dude on the bus. And I thought, what the hell did I get myself into? I felt uncomfortable. I was scared. In that moment, I promised myself that I would give it a month. Well, that month turned into the rest of my life. And I want to share one of our students' stories with you. His name is Edwin. When I first met Edwin, he was non-communicative and tense, almost as if he was trapped in his own skin. He was like this. His voice was barely audible, and I could barely even hear what he had to say. But as the weeks turned to months, Edwin began to smile with greater frequency. I could see magic had sparked something inside of him. And as the weeks accumulated further and turned months into months into months, Edwin was slowly emerging as one of the shining stars in our magic club. I later found out that Edwin has suffered from severe abuse. Now, 8 months after beginning to learn magic, Edwin sauntered bashfully, yet confidently, onto the stage, following an act from his country's most famous magician, Gustavo Lorgia. And within moments of stepping on that stage, Edwin had his audience of 300 people in awe of his magic and laughing at his jokes. I had to do everything I could to keep the tears from flowing out of my eyes. I felt like a proud father. Before I left Colombia in July 2013, Edwin shared with me that he wants to be a doctor. we share the same professional aspirations. And Magicians Without Borders has a scholarship fund to support our students as they choose to pursue their dreams. We are so eager to support Edwin's dream. See, Edwin's story, it really highlights the magic that we all have within us. Sometimes it just takes some guidance and a little nudge to find it. Let me show you what I mean. I have a Rubik's Cube here. Let's let this Rubik's Cube represent the lives of the many people that we work with throughout the world. Chaotic, confused, maybe even hopeless of a resolution. But we believe that with magic, we can learn to confront reality with a different mentality. And through that, we can learn to extend the realm of possibility. Thank you. Let's journey to Mumbai, India, February 2014. Beads of sweat dripped from my forehead as I stepped from the jetway. And my nose was overcome with a blend of aromas from burning garbage, overpowering perfume, and flavorful cooking. I couldn't quite decide if I should waft the smells into my nose or if I should plug my nose. A little confused. But let me tell you why I was there. I was there to teach and perform magic. And our students in India, they are daughters of commercial sex workers from the brutal brothels of Mumbai. Let's back up for a second. Let's back up. In Colombia, when I was there, I received a phone call from Carlos Lopez. He said he was a magician, and he was interested in our work. And he wanted to be a part of it. And so a few weeks prior to his phone call, he was performing magic at a camp. And after his show, a boy named Andres approached him. And he said, "Can I borrow a deck of cards?" Carlos reached into his pocket. He said, "Sure, here you go." And Andres proceeded to show Carlos a magic trick that was so impressive, he couldn't even learn it on YouTube. And so, how about one of you just name a card? The what? Ace of Diamonds. Okay, perfect. So Andres reached into the deck, and he started thumbing through the cards. And as he thumbed through, he noticed that one card was all the different from all the other cards. So then he turned to Carlos and he said, "What was the card you said?" Ace of Diamonds. And the only card that was different in the entire deck was the Ace of Diamonds. Thank you. And so in that moment, Carlos was like, "What? Where did you learn that?" And Andres just smiled and shrugged. And he said, "Some gringo is coming to my foundation. And he's teaching me magic." Well, that gringo is me. And now, Carlos directs our program in Colombia. And as students in Colombia recently performed at a TEDx event, much like you are at today. And after their performance, they received an astounding standing ovation for 2 minutes. Thank you. So now let's journey to Mumbai. Those beads of sweat were dripping from my forehead. And our students, like I told you, they are daughters of commercial sex workers from the brutal brothels. Some of these girls that you're looking at have literally been under the beds as their mothers are working. The worst part of it is, research shows that without intervention, 70% of these girls will enter the sex trade themselves. So we intervene with magic. And we partner with an organization called Prerna. Prerna's mission is to put an end to second-generation sex trafficking. So I would take the train from downtown Mumbai to Kharghar, which is about an hour-and-a-half train ride, and I would hang out the door because it's too hot on the train. One day, as the train was flying by, I saw houses made of plastic and twigs. I saw a man reach into a garbage pail, put that food in his mouth. I saw another person bathing out in the open. That was his front yard. That day, the poverty literally slapped me in the face. And I thought, who am I to think that I could ever change any of this? But then I remembered, the whole reason I came to India was because if I could make one small difference in one of our students' lives, then all those countless hours of fundraising, all of those red-eyed flights, all of those crowded Indian trains, all of it will instantly become worth it. Mrs. Patkar, the founder of Prerna, once said when watching our girls perform, "When I see these girls perform with so much dignity, they exhibit so much grace, that I know it will be impossible for them to enter the sex trade." And once I saw our students perform for myself, I knew Ms. Patkar was right. So this last summer, I had the opportunity to travel to San Salvador, El Salvador. There, two of our magic students recently graduated from culinary school on a scholarship supported by our scholarship fund. And before they began to learn magic, their job was to work in a garbage dump, looking for valuables. After their graduation, they contacted us and they said, "We want to pay it forward. We want to teach a group of students magic." And so the day after my first year of medical school ended, I flew down to San Salvador. And I began working with Maricela and Peter to start their own magic program. And now, 3 months later, they have been teaching the same group of 10 children who are in a public school that is at high risk for gang involvement, and they've been teaching them magic. We are so proud of Peter and Maricela. As you can see, magic has no borders. My long-term involvement in our magic program is a direct result of my Fulbright Scholarship. I believe Fulbright is magical. Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu once said, "You can show me, and I will see. You can tell me, and I will listen. But you can let me experience, and I will learn." My experiences abroad, they've ruined me forever. But they've ruined me in the best way possible. Edwin's blossoming gives me hope. The more positive future for our magic students in India to overcome their childhood tragedies gives me hope every single day. And if I'm hopeful, I don't need anything else. So with that said, I'd like to invite 2 volunteers up onto the stage to help me out. So could you please come on up? Let's get a round of applause. We have 2 people coming on up right here. Thank you so much. Come on over this way. What's your name?
Anastasia.
Anastasia, thank you so much for coming.
Omar Sami.
Omar, thank you so much. Omar and Anastasia, what we have here is we have a rope. Go ahead and step just a little bit this way, please. 2 ropes, actually. And I mentioned Houdini earlier, right? Houdini was the king of escapes. I don't have a straitjacket, but we're going to make one out of my blazer, okay? So I'd like for the both of you to come and step just a little bit forward, please. Just right here, and I want you to hold my coat for me. Exactly, one of you on each collar. And go ahead and check the coat out. Make sure it's solid, no trap doors, no way a rope could ever pass right through it. How does it look? Does it look okay? Like a normal jacket? Perfect. So we're going to take this rope, we're going to thread it right through the sleeves of this jacket. Perfect. Then we take this one, put it through the other sleeves. You didn't know what you're getting into, did you? So now I'm going to hop right around, and I want you both to help me into the jacket. Thank you so much. We'll even out the lengths. That looks pretty good. Now we button it up. Looking out for me, Omar. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. So now I'm going to cross my arms. Anastasia, if you could grab that. Omar, if you could grab that. Go ahead, put 1 strand in each hand. So separate the 2 strands so 1 strand of rope is in each hand. Perfect. And go ahead and trade one end behind my back with each other. Yep, trade one end with each other. Perfect. And then come back over here. Okay. Very good. Thank you so much. So as you can see, the 2 ropes are going through my sleeves, and they have me completely closed in this jacket. You didn't know what you're getting into, but now we're going to do some gymnastics. So ready? We're going to do a backflip. 1, No, just kidding. But what we are going to do is we're going to do a 360. So let's go ahead and rotate this way. So go ahead, rotate to your right, Omar. Perfect. And keep going so everybody can see that I'm completely stuck. Keep going all the way. I'm completely stuck in the straitjacket. Perfect. Go ahead, pull just a little bit tighter. Okay. So as you can see, I'm stuck. Now I'm stuck in a jacket. But most of the people that we work with throughout the world are stuck as well. But they're not in a jacket. They're stuck within the harsh realities of their own lives. But we believe, go ahead and pull just a little bit tighter, that through magic, you can see the impossible become possible. And through that, it can set you free. Thank you. Thank you. Round of applause for Omar, for Anastasia. Thank you. Go ahead and take your seats. Thank you so much. Go ahead and be seated. Thank you. Thank you. I urge you to find the magic that constantly happens around us. And I encourage you to invite that sense of wonder and amazement into your lives. Because when you do so, you can literally extend the realm of possibility right in front of your eyes. And that will make the impossible possible. Thank you. Namaste. Thank you.